How you doing, squad? So this is the one. Oh yes, this is the one, the video that you've been waiting for. So many people have been asking about how I've managed to achieve what I've achieved. Arcade machine in the background, see? Got to see that. So you're looking at it and going, oh, arcade machine in the background, boom, looking at the graphics, keeping you busy. We've had this wonderful title. The wonderful title's got you intrigued. 7 people on now. Lots of people all logging in to find out all about this laptop lifestyle, this £1 million business, the 4 books, the speaking, all of it. All of it, people. We're going to reveal a lot. But I'm also going to go and bring in a second, I'm going to bring in Stefan Thomas. Stefan Thomas is a long-time friend of mine. We've known each other for about 11 years. And Stefan, he's also an author, has written 2 books. He's written 2 books. I've written 4. His ones are bigger than mine, the books. And we're also going to be asking him and finding out how he's managed to create himself this lifestyle, this laptop lifestyle where, you know, he earns money whilst he sleeps, which is what I do. I earn money while I sleep. How amazing is that? And how you can do the same. Let me get Steph in and then we'll have a bit of a wrap and I will get back to that. I promise you I'm going to get back to that. I'm going to reveal all the secrets that you need to know how you can create yourself a laptop lifestyle and also get yourself into a multi-million-pound business and get yourself those books and also the speaking, as I do, speaking in front of thousands of audiences. Anyway, let's get to it. Let's go to Steph and we go there. Steph, let me get him on. Bring Steph in on. Double Dragon, Donkey Kong, Brad Burton logo, Journey of Words, picture of my wife, John Lewis.
I'm here.
Steph, how you doing, champ?
I'm doing really well, except my tripod's not working. It needs me to turn my phone round.
Steph, that's not a euphemism, is it?
I'm 47 years old, mate. 2 seconds. That's my hand.
It's all about preparation, people. It's all about preparation.
Hey, we rehearsed this for hours. This isn't happening in the rehearsals.
So, Steph, there's a fundamental difference between you and me when it comes to physical attributes. You've got hair, I don't have hair. My days of having hair. Steph, what are the secrets to having hair at 47-year-old?
Have 2 grandfathers who both had hair. I think that's your answer there.
So,
it's
Steph,
luck, this one.
We get into it now. This is the thing that I put that clickbaity title on here so that people can understand how they can also get the laptop lifestyle that both you and I enjoy. Steph, what's your view on this whole culture that we've got right now on Facebook, on social media, of book titles which are intriguing, clickbait, which really infers that somewhere along the way, anyone, regardless of how much talent you've actually got or how much work you're prepared to put in, that you too can have a laptop lifestyle?
I think I've got a laptop lifestyle.
Yeah.
But my laptop's broken and I need to make enough money to buy a new one. I did something last week, okay, with some of the guys that I'm working with. I did something.
Yeah, not that thing, Steph, the other thing.
Listen, in this one sentence, I'm going to get 2 subtle ads in here. So in my private members group, I did this thing last week where I went through a spreadsheet with the exact steps which I've taken to sell some tickets for an event that I've got coming up.
Yep.
All of the people in the room did a sharp intake of breath. One of them actually said to me, I think that's why we see so many workshops and events cancelled, because the sheer amount of graft of showing up and doing stuff like this and writing emails and sending emails and going to networking events, the amount of stuff that I've done since the 20th of December, I think, to promote this, I'll tell you what, it wasn't a 4-hour work week. I mean, I've read that book. It just took effort and grafts to get there. And I've got a bigger network than most. I've sort of worked out how to do a lot of this, but I think that's missing. You said something to me this morning, which is sort of why we're here, and it continues to wind me up, this idea that there's a magic pill.
Yep, and I think this is the thing, all right? So you said you got a big network. Well, I've got an even fucking bigger one because I started 12 years ago. But I started 12 years ago, Family 4 networking, 5,000 meetings across the UK. There's a logo there. My network is vast. It's vast. It's nationwide. I was doing 40,000 miles a year. 40,000 miles a year, speaking at least and networking 200, 250 times a year. That was for 10 years. For 10 years, right? Now I have a laptop lifestyle where I'm not sat behind an office. But here's the thing with all this kind of myth. People chase this down. And I know a lot of business people who are in a financial position to have a laptop lifestyle. But guess what? They don't have a laptop lifestyle because a laptop lifestyle is a mindset. Now, I think I've got a laptop lifestyle, but somewhere along the way, this laptop lifestyle is the kind of thing that just sounds quite intriguing and, oh yeah, it sounds awesome. But actually, you get to that point where you're in a financial situation where you can have that and you still continue to work. So what are you chasing? So here's the thing, what I'm about, and I've sussed this one out, I reckon. How you become, get a laptop lifestyle with £1 million plus business is by working your bollocks off for 12 years. That's the reality of it. How you end up writing 4 books is by spending 12 months preparing for your book, then spending 6 months of being broken emotionally, mentally, writing these books. Then you've got to get it printed. Then you've got to go and sell it. The job doesn't even finish there. So that's why I've done it. That's why I've done it. I've done that concurrent development, run 4 networking, started 4 networking. I've written 4 books, of which they're 40,000 words a piece, of which, like I say, it took about 18 months roughly, each of those. And for me to become a speaker, I've had to train. I've had to go to speak hundreds of times. I've had to speak in rooms where you've got 80 seats and you've got 7 people there. But somewhere along the way, people think that what they can do is just because they've got an amazing story, that they're going to get booked, that people are going to be falling over themselves to book them as a speaker. Steph, anything to add on that?
And it's not just about Facebook likes. I think this has been, look, we've got 22 people watching, 23, you know, out of the thousands of people that we've got as Facebook friends, LinkedIn friends, Twitter contacts. We've managed to round up 22 people. And I'm good with that.
Steph, no, you've not done it, because where we went wrong is we should have put an advertising campaign on the run up to this, and then what we should have done is we should have pre-authored it, and then we should have fucking bullshit. And this is what people need to understand. You've got Brad Burton, the UK's #1 motivational business speaker, the guy who founded 4 Networking, the guy who's written 4 books, highest rated business author. You've got Steph Thomas, who's an amazing speaker, top notch in the networking field, has written 2 books, got a nationwide reputation, and we've got 23 people on. 23 fucking people, 23 people, and yet you sit on there and go, oh, I've been doing Facebook, I've only got 4 people on there. It takes fucking time, and this is the thing. People don't want to hear that. And what people will do is they will pay £497 or £4,997 to listen to someone who tells you can have a laptop lifestyle, when the reality is it's fucking bullshit. Steph.
I remember doing 4 sites at 4 Network in Abingdon to 5 people in the room, and one of them was the waitress.
Right.
And one of the others was bitching about how few people were in the room. But doing that and carrying on doing it, and there was a bit of a stupidity really that I was carrying on doing that and speaking to my lowest ever audience was 0 people turned up. The franchise where they forgot to advertise me. Hey Neil Giller, it's lovely to see you. But turning up and doing that consistently, someone said something, and I think you pointed out to me this morning, there was a phrase that was out there somewhere about, you've got to want success more than you want to breathe, or something like that.
So Les Brown's over at the moment.
That wound me up.
Les is an amazing speaker, no question. And you know, when you're a speaker, it's down to sound bites. That's the reality of it. They don't always make sense. They sound good. Don't always make sense. If you think about Les Brown's who want success more than you can breathe, let me tell you something. Right now. If I was faced with a fucking oxygen mask or a Lamborghini outside, I could only have one, and I'm in Mars, I would have the fucking oxygen mask. So I get the principle, it's fine. But here's the thing. Here is the thing with all this kind of stuff, that people are pursuing success at any cost. And for the vast majority of people, this is something I teach people. For the vast majority of people, you're not going to have a fucking Bugatti. Let me tell you about a Bugatti, right? I've got friends of mine with Bugattis. They cost £2,500 per tyre. They cost 12,000 quid for a basic service. So that life that you want, how are you going to fund that life? So these dreams that we all want, and we should have dreams, by all means have dreams, but not to the point where they become fucking nightmares. So make your mind up as to what you want, because not everyone can be Les Brown. Not everyone can be Brad Burton. Not everyone can be Steph Thomas. Not everyone can be fucking Alan Sugar. Not everyone can be Richard Branson.
I was stupid enough to go out there, and I'm being more vocal about this now. You know, the very people who were telling me I was stupid and spending too much time on 4 networking and that sort of thing are some of the same people who are coming up to me now and saying that they want to speak. And if you want to speak, go out there and speak. If you're a 4 networking member, you've got an entire network out there. Even if you're not a 4 networking member, there are 3 or 4 local networking events going on in your town.
No. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but I'm looking for bigger audiences there.
Yeah, exactly. But you get to the bigger audiences. There is a person who asks me once a year how they can get paid speaking gigs. And I say, rejoin for networking, get on the foresight circuit. Somewhere will be sat your break. That's what happened to me, realistically.
I'm me.
You know,
I'm me.
some
I'm me.
of the people, Scott Hyder, and I mention his name every time, does not know how responsible he's been for some of the stuff that happened to me, because he literally doesn't know. But he was in the room and saw me speak and had faith in me. And other people have been the same. But I could have chosen not to go.
Yeah, and here's the thing with all this sort of shit, is that people believe that just because you're a great speaker doesn't mean that you're going to get the great audiences. And I'm fucking being really serious about this, because there's better speakers out there than me, no question, but they ain't getting the same.
Definitely.
And this is something, sales pitch, I teach my Brad camps about me ACE. Assets, credibility and experience, ACE, Brad Burton's ACE. Assets, credibility. So if you think about assets that I've got, assets are what I consider like photographs and videos, showreel and that. Credibility, I've got all the clients like JCB, Bentley, blah, blah, blah. The experience is 12 years of speaking. So actually, I gauge myself in terms of the small business world, you know, on assets on a scale of 1 to 10 in each of them. I'm at 28, 29. Outside of my world, nobody knows who the fuck I am. So, and this is the other thing. So the danger you've got here is in your mind's eye, you believe that you're some big shot, and the reality is you walk into a room, nobody knows who the fuck you are. So,
actually, something that people probably don't know about you, but I do know about you, because we speak every time you come off stage, and every time I come off stage, we speak to each other. I know that you're your biggest critic, and that keeps you on your toes, particularly with your assets. You constantly, I've never known anything like it.
Right.
Look at what you're putting out there in terms of the photos of you that are public, the videos of you that are public.
Correct.
And people sometimes think you're arrogant. You've certainly heard that. But what I get in the background is that you're constantly refining your stuff and looking at how you can be better when you go on stage as well. All of this stuff is so important.
So this is going back down to this whole laptop lifestyle. This is going all back down to success, how you can get the big stages, how you can get 4 books, like I've written 4 books, that you can get a multi-million-pound business. Let me explain something, right? So when it comes to me speaking, a couple of Saturdays ago, not last Saturday, Saturday before, I spoke at Palex annual conference, okay, at the East Midlands, blah, blah, blah. Palex, £100 million business. So I've got to go on there. Let me explain something. What I did on the run-up to that is I lost weight. I had to get my weight down to a certain, like, fighting weight. No, but people don't see this stuff. So actually, unless you're prepared, like, how can you trust a fat motivational speaker? It doesn't add up, right? If I can't motivate myself to get to the gym and lose my weight, how on earth can I motivate anyone else? And this is the thing. Fortunately, Steph, you're in the networking world where actually it's bacon and eggs, isn't it?
Stop that now.
Or in your case, tofu and pulses. But the point I'm making, Steph, is there's a lot more to it. So just because you've got a great story, if you look at what I'm about, you look at any of my photographs on my website, Brad Burton, arms folded, confident, you know, boom, 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 boom. The whole thing is stage managed. And this is the bit where people don't understand that people come to me, oh, I've got an amazing story. I jumped out of a fucking submarine once and I survived. Well, that's great. Well, who's going to listen to it? And I always say to people, I run my own speaker agency as well. I always say to people, don't come to me telling me you've got a great story. I will find you. Seriously, I will find every speaker that is of assault. I will find them. It's not only about being a great speaker. It's about whether you're fitting with what I'm about as well. And that's the other thing. Let me explain. I get offered, not on a weekly, but on a monthly basis, to go and speak at various events, right, where I could make a load of money. Yeah. And I choose not to take these events because they are not aligned with what I stand for as a speaker. And this is the thing. It would be all too tempting for me to go along to these events, put my fucking hat in the ring, and then get involved in them. But I'll tell you something. One of the things that I talked about, this whole thing, which has been really important to me, is about reputation. The problem with selling out for money is that the selling out lasts forever, the money doesn't. And this is something that I've always got this integrity about me. Incidentally, there you go, in terms of, yes, advertisement. Now what event? There you go. Saturday, Aston Villa, 9 tickets remain. Me and 4 other speakers. Now what.biz, check it out. All day event with me. Steph, anything to add?
Oh, loads. People massively overestimate their audience. I wrote a piece ages ago entitled Audience is as Important as Ability. And I've spent over 10 years now building up my audience. I see people think that because they got a few thousand views on a Facebook Live or something like that, then they've got a big audience. No. Your audience is much smaller than you think. A tiny proportion of your audience are ever going to actually buy something from you. You've got to spend effort putting in to give value, to build that audience out there. So, you know, on this Facebook Live, I'm looking at people like Neil Giller, who I met at the business show in London in the gents' toilets, as it goes, and we've kept in touch since then. And
he was young, naive, and needed the money, Steph.
Yeah, I know, exactly. And, you know, and all of the other people on there who I've met at different places, and they're watching your video because you and I put in the effort to keep in touch with them.
But Steph, there's 33 fucking people online. 33.
33? I know.
Right now, hang about. And this is where the fucking myth, the whole myth about this, and it's something that I was twisted on this one, is that, you know, I used to be like a prank monkey. So I'd go onto social media, say something hilarious and get a load of likes, and then I'd do it again and say a load of likes and get fucking pointless. Fucking pointless.
I think it did have a point at the time, and it was one of the ways that you built up the original For Networking forum.
Yep.
I think things continue to change and things continue to evolve. And at my event, which is coming up on February the 2nd, you've turned your back on me, you can't blame me. My event coming up on February the 2nd with Chris Marr. I've also got an event coming up on April the 12th with Brad Burton. Check out my website, thenetworkingretreat.co.uk. That's the sort of stuff that I'm going to talk about, that you do have to keep up on slight and subtle changes in things like social media as well. Like you and me doing this on a Monday afternoon, which we wouldn't have been doing 2 years ago.
So, Steph, I mean, I talked before, I know, I wasn't being official, I was being fucking honest, right? About the fucking whole Facebook advertising myth, right? Because
Thank you, Pippa, for that.
It has been put out there that somewhere along the way, what you do, you get a free ebook, and then you put this little click funnel, and you put a little pixel, and when you click that, it then takes the address, then you remarket them, and listen, fucking great if you're Coca-Cola. Fucking great if you're Coca-Cola. Great if you're Pepsi Schweppes. Great if you're Simon Cowell. For your average Joe, and this is the thing, your average Joe's looking at these events here and seeing these sponsored links and all that sort of stuff and thinking, well, okay, maybe if I can do the same, because I've got this amazing product. We sell web design. I'm in Somerset. So if I target the village of people who are my age, who run their own businesses, fucking hell, and you think it's a panacea, that's where you're going to get results. Well, I'm telling you something right fucking now. In the last 3 years, I've spent £2,500–3,000 with experts who are Facebook experts, I fucking have, who've told me every single time, hey Brad, I promise you, don't worry about what's gone before, work with me and I'll get a result. Fucking £3,000 I've spent, and every single one of them have come up empty. Now, either it's down to my offering, blang about, 4 business books, 4 networking, the highest rated business author, fucking best speaker, you know, the whole fucking, I've got every asset that I need in the real world, but in Facebook, I've got nothing. Come on, it's all bollocks. Now I remember the first time Gary Vaynerchuk did a fucking video with a quote, the captions on it, and everyone's going, "Oh my God, you're getting, you know, you're only getting 7% with the video. Put captions on it, you're getting 53%. Fuck your fucking numbers, right? How many fucking things are you selling? I could give a fuck whether you get 99% people watching your video. How many fucking things are you selling? If you're selling fuck all, guess what? It's bollocks. So if there's anyone on here right now as a Facebook expert who wants to put their balls on the table. Put the balls on the table, and if you're that fucking good, put your balls on the table, contact me and say to me, Brad, I'll put my money where the mouth is. You prove to me that you're as good as you fucking say you are, and I swear to you, it'll be the best advertisement campaign that you could ever wish for. However, here's what's going to happen. Fuck all, because you don't believe in what you're going to say, or you're going to tell me the algorithms have changed, or you're going to tell me that the picture wasn't right, or you're going to tell me that my face didn't fit, or I'm from Manchester. And I'm going to tell you it's bullshit. It's bullshit. Come on then, Facebook advertisement. Prove me fucking wrong. And I tell you something now. If it works, you will have the best advertisement around the UK, because I will tell every fucker, and you'll be falling over. You can get your Bugatti and your Lamborghini. Ooh.
I love that the Facebook algorithm has changed. I love that it's changed. It's going to favour people who actually put some effort into building their relationships. It's actually going to favour people like you and I, if I'm honest. You know, Coca-Cola cannot trace the sale of one bottle of Coca-Cola to their Christmas lorries, their Christmas adverts.
Right.
And you know, that's the brand awareness is great. Brand awareness is great, and it works for big companies. And for networking in the background, I spotted that too. You know, brand awareness might be great, but someone said on your Facebook timeline earlier, someone said that Facebook is rubbish for B2B. In my opinion, that's nonsense. I make so many of my B2B sales on Facebook.
Go on, Steph, do it. Do an advert. Steph, do an advert. Go on, Steph, do an advert.
What, an advert for my event coming up with Chris Marr on February the 2nd, where you will actually learn how to get sales from networking, the networkingretreat.co.uk/more sales.
So here's the
I'll
thing.
repeat that.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing with all this. Don't get me wrong. As I just said to you, Coca-Cola doing, driving up the Coca-Cola things, and I love the Coca-Cola advert and so forth, but they can afford for it not to work. They can afford for it not to work. And often, so many people going for this panacea that somewhere along the way, doing an ebook, the 27 things you'll learn from networking, subscribe now, and then you get an email address, and then you remarket these people. Don't get me wrong, that stuff's fucking great. But if your mortgage is going out in 3 days' time, less so. Please, 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 people, from day one, all I've ever been is honest. I have no fucking filter. Steph knows this. I've got no filter. If I see something wrong, I have to say I see something wrong. I can't go over.
Me going off in a huff and having to give it 48 hours before I call you back for the win.
That's it.
But
so,
you always told me stuff that I didn't want to hear, but I needed to hear. That's
and this is the thing with small business, primarily, which is what we're aimed at, is that there is no panacea. That if you go back and reverse up to my laptop lifestyle, 12 years of for networking. Let me tell you something. Before 12 years of for networking, there was a year and a half of for consultancy. So I'm 13 and a half years in now. 13 and a half years in of my life. And bear in mind, I'm 45 next week, February 6th. Right? Send the cards. No, but so effectively, a third of my life has been focused on creating my laptop lifestyle. A third of my life has been focused on this. So if I know what I know now, what I would say, and this is something we teach at Now What Live Saturday, Now What Biz, right? But generally something that we teach at, I was so discontent on the road to where I am now, because I looked at everyone else with Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and blah, blah, blah. I'm feeling, what, hang about, I'm working my bollocks off. Why aren't I there yet? And actually, this is something that I teach people, which is about, see, a lot of these motivational speakers and a lot of this personal development world, what they do is they create discontent in your life so that you're unhappy with your life, so you're unhappy with your lot. And the only way that you can unlock the secrets of your success is by getting a credit card out and spending 10 grand. You spend the 10 grand believing that these guys have got the key to open your success, and then you spent your 10 grand and you sat there scratching your fucking head thinking, hang about, I'm 10 grand lighter, and you're so embarrassed that you've done the 10 grand in that you won't tell anyone. That's the culture of the whole personal development world. And I'll tell you something, I've got a track record of disrupting stuff, whether it was business networking, closed shop. People told me I've got no chance, it's a closed shop, blah, 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 blah. I've gone in there, I've done something uniquely different, and consequently, it's 12 years on, it still survives, and it's thriving. I've also written 4 books, disruptive books. You can't call a business book, get off your ass. Why not? I did it. You can't be a motivational speaker, Brad. Why? You look like a drug dealer, tattoo, shaved head from Manchester. I'm not a drug dealer, by the way.
Anymore.
Thank you, Steph. But you see what I'm saying? So every step of the way, it's been disruptive. My next mission for the next 10 years is to disrupt the personal development space. That truly disrupt the personal development space, because for too long, it's been self-serving. For too long, it has rode roughshod over people. And for too long, it's emptied the pockets of people who can afford to have the pockets emptied. Well, I'm telling you right now, I've done it with a track record before networking, with the books, with the speaking. Next stage, personal development is getting changed. Now what.biz this Saturday. There's 9 tickets remaining. Steph.
And I think that's the thing. When you say it's people who can ill afford to have the money taken, I see so many people out there selling certainty.
Yep.
That if you do this, if you go to this course, you are going to be an international speaker. I've seen that recently.
Mate. So let me just dissect that. If you go on a course, you'll be an international speaker, right? So let me explain. I've spoke fucking numerous times internationally. So fucking what? What difference does it make as me as a speaker? Think about it logically. So I go speak in Europe, Spain, America, whatever. What difference does it make other than to say I'm an international speaker? It has no nutritional content to my life. Somewhere along the way, you're playing into this fucking lunacy that you being an international speaker is a good fucking thing, right?
But also just paying to go on a course, or paying to go on a course, or buy a mentoring. It troubles me that people think and are sold to believe that if they do that, they'll do this. One of the things I was speaking to one of my advisors earlier on, and something that she she puts out there is that people have to follow her advice if they're signing up for her stuff, because you can pay to go on a course, you can follow the advice, but you still might not be an international speaker. I just worry that stuff's being put out there like that.
Steph, so something that Ian Dixon, my business coach, who's speaking at now, this Saturday, he said to me,
you're doing better than me.
Thank you. Well, Steph, you knock yours in a minute, all right? So he said to me that seminars don't work. Seminars don't work. You've got to go and do the things. And actually, I can teach you to be you as a speaker. I can help you be, but there's lots of other things. So it's not only, so here we go. Let me just break it down. So if I look, you prepare yourself for your sales pitch in a minute by stealth, Steph, all right? So you look at me as a speaker, right? Fundamentally different, right, to any other business speaker. Come on, I know that, right? Because I tried to compete in that world. I tried to compete of being the formal speaker, and I never, so what I've learned is to be myself. Now, if I think about some of the shit that's happened in my life, whether it was a nervous breakdown, being addicted to drugs twice, 4 years on benefits, getting shot at twice, my dad leaving when I was 6 months old, all these kind of fucking things, no qualifications, all these kind of things are stuff that I previously wanted to hide away because I didn't want people to know. Me as a speaker, the reason that I'm such a powerful motivational speaker is because I'm daft enough to share those things, right? So there's several things going on here. One, you need to be able to get your eye contact right. So when I first started speaking, I was like Stevie Wonder. I couldn't look anyone in the eye, bum, 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 right? And then you need to move with purpose. You need to get your pauses right. You need to know what you're saying, Towel, right? You need to know what you're saying. You need to have eye contact and visibility about it. But it's not only that, you need to then bring it together. You need to then lose weight, as I needed to do. You need to be able to have confidence. You need to have walking music. You need to have, and it's this kind of stuff that takes 12 years. It doesn't take 12 fucking minutes. I can take you to my Be a Better Speaker event, which is next one in Farnborough. Boom. There you go, Steph. Right? And I can give you the tools for a day. But ultimately, what you do beyond that, what you do, Steph, I'm only playing, mate. You'll go in a minute. Right? But what you can do, this is fun. By the way, guys, this is a bit of fun. We're just making this up on the fly. But what I can do is I can give you that. But I never guarantee anyone anything. All I guarantee is that I'm going to share 10 years of experience in one day, Brad Camp, Farnborough, in March. Steph.
Do you know what? I've actually got, this is really interesting to me, this sort of geeky stuff. I'm looking at Google Analytics, right? I've got Google Analytics open on a screen.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I have, true story. Google Analytics open on a screen in front of me now. So as a result of doing this, there's 2 people looking at my website at the moment, right? One of those lucky people, if they book for my event, thenetworkingretreat.co.uk/more sales.
Steph, clunker, very clunker. I'll be honest with you, clunky. Try again, go. Bit too clunker.
What my pitch?
No, hang on. What you need to do is a little bit of preamble first, and then drop it in. You just went straight into it. So do a bit of preamble. I
learned this from Steve off QVC. You do the close 7 times. Do you not remember that?
No, go on.
Tell you something. A word came up in conversation earlier on. Someone talked about the triumvirate. The triumvirate of networking, social media, and content marketing, the 3 things that I've done to make sales and that I teach other people to do. Tell you something really interesting. I had someone book onto my event, thenetworkingretreat.co.uk/more sales. When I tracked her journey, 11 emails it took to get that person to the stage where they bought. Now, I got some criticism for sending those emails out over Christmas. I would much rather have the criticism and the unsubscribes and the sales than people saying your emails are great. We're not trying to be hilarious, Alison Reeves. We're trying to sell tickets to events
Aaron,
and give you some advice along the way. But
so go on.
Listen, I'm doing this event. I've got Brad Burton coming up on April the 12th, who I'm doing a joint event with. That is going to absolutely rock.
So Steph,
go on.
Steph, so your event with my big network and your big network, how many people are you going to get there? 500, 700,000?
So my event, and it's broadly speaking £295. People will get a shed load of value out of that.
Say intimate. Intimate's a good word. Intimate. Say intimate.
No, I only ever aimed to sell 25 tickets. And we've got, what have we got? We've got 21 of those tickets gone now, and I've only got 2 spaces left for the VIP dinner. I'm doing a VIP dinner with Chris Marr.
Like that.
But 25 tickets. 17 emails so far. I post every day on Facebook. I post every day on LinkedIn.
So
honestly,
Steph, taking the point, I think the point
Yeah.
is here, is that somewhere along the way, this is fucking hard work, this stuff. And I think people, once again, get you the wonderful click funnel and snail mail and mail snails and mail slugs and all these stupid fucking .com names that really, these clever systems. Yeah, what happens is when somebody opens it, they then send you an email and fuck it, I don't know about you. As soon as I have one of those, what's the fucking word, that system, as soon as an email comes through and says, hey, it's on that system, I don't even know, it's some automated system, I delete the fucking things. Because I'm through getting hoodwinked with marketing messages. Whatever happened to having nice conversations like this? Whatever happened to automation? And forget your automation. It's about personalization, talking to people. Forget all this Facebook shit. Get onto fucking talking to people face to face. Like at Now What Live this Saturday.
Yeah, that's what you and I both teach, though. Whether someone goes to Brad's event, whether someone goes to my event, whether they go to both. Now, that would be the sensible thing for any UK business owner to do at the end of January and into February. Go to both events, Now What Live and the Networking Retreat event with Chris Marr. I would recommend that to any business owner. But what Brad and I will be teaching you is how to do this stuff, how to have real conversations with people that do ultimately some of those conversations lead to sales.
And that's the point, Steph. Complete frankness and honesty. That some of those conversations will lead to sales. Some of them won't. And this is the thing. There's a lot of this
right, we can still be friends.
There's a lot of this stuff that you see on social media. You'll learn the 27 secrets that are the 4 secrets that got me a 5,000. I made in one day through 4 networking. It was the biggest day in 4 networking history, going back in 2012. One day, £75,000 worth of sales in one day. Now you remember that? I could position that in a way which, market that to say, hey, guess what? The technique that I did to earn fucking, I don't know, let's say 80, I don't fucking know, but 10, 50, but probably 10 times more than we've ever earned or whatever figure is, right? In one day, right? And actually, I could position that in a way which would make people falling over themselves and book on for that. And the reality is, we did our first fucking sale ever in the company's history in the first of 6 years. That was it. So, but what I could have done is I could have said, hey, come to Now What, and you'll learn the secrets behind that. And people go rushing there, thinking they're going to learn the secrets, how they can get a 700% fucking increase in sales. And I just tell you, I did my first sale. That was it. The first one after 6 years. And that's what you've got to understand. This whole fucking thing is a fucking scam. It's a fucking con. And this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to have the honesty piece. Now, the honesty piece is about running events. The honesty piece about business. That it takes, in my case, 13.5 years to get to this stage where I've got a laptop lifestyle. 13.5 years. That's 13.5 years of doing 40,000 miles a year. 30,000... the 13.5 years of writing 4 books at 40,000 words a piece, spending 18 months a piece on them. This is how I've got my success. If you believe that somewhere along the way you can circumvent all that hard work with some clever fucking Facebook system or a pixel or remarketing, you're in cloud cuckoo land. And actually, but people want to believe that there's some fucking thing exists out there. Now, either I'm the thickest twat going, right, and done 13.5 years of graft, or maybe, just maybe, this is how it fucking is. And I'm being really honest about it, Steph.
I've got some friends who live the laptop lifestyle. So out of my friends who do that, one of them could realistically, sensibly retire now and be very comfortable for the rest of their life. But they'd be bored shitless. They'd be bored, and they realise that. And in conversation with them, they would drift into doing other things like going to the pub every lunchtime or something like that. Another one of my friends who genuinely does live the laptop lifestyle does so because they made a decision that what success for them wasn't about finances. So they absolutely completely trimmed down all of their outgoings so that they could afford to do so, and they don't look for that much work. But that's success to them.
And this is what I teach it Now What. I mean, genuinely, bullshit aside, this is something that I teach because it's something that I thought that success was having a Lamborghini, fucking first class travel everywhere. Now, when we go to Disney, right, we've been for 8 years, so let me explain. I'm doing okay, right? We do not stay at the top Disney hotel. Why? Because I'm a scruffy bastard. That's the reality of it. Why? Because I'm not going to go and wear a pink Ralph Lauren t-shirt and some fucking dickhead shorts to fit in with a maitre d' and all that. That's not what I'm about. But people end up changing who they are. They end up changing who they are in order to go into this elevated world. I found my level. Listen, if I never achieve fuck all in my life beyond where I am, I'm delighted. Like, really. And this is what I say to people, is make certain that that ambition doesn't just keep going, that you're constantly chasing the next fucking thing. That you go and get a fucking Lamborghini and then you want 22-inch wheels, then 24, and then you want... So when does it stop, this consumption? Be happy with what you've got. And I mean it sincerely. You want success more than you can breathe. Well, I'll tell you something right now. You'd be under the fucking water, right? You'd be 40 foot underwater and then turn around and say you want success more than you want oxygen. Bullshit. Now, don't get me wrong. Les, amazing speaker.
Good soundbite.
Pardon?
Good soundbite. I get it.
Great soundbite. It's exceptional. But it's bullshit. Because actually, I couldn't give a fuck about success if I'm on a fucking cancer ward over at Musgrove. I couldn't give two fucks about success. What I'd be interested in is getting my life back to normal. And this is what I'm trying to fucking say. This is what I'm trying to say to people is, look, by all means, be ambitious. Please be ambitious. But make certain that that ambition doesn't drive you to ruin, because I nearly lost everything. And I nearly lost my fucking mental faculties, my marriage, financially, the fucking lot in pursuit of success. So this is what I'm trying to say, is find contentment with what you've already got. Find contentment with what you've got in your life right now. Your life right now. The fact that you can breathe, the fact that you can listen, the fact that you can see, the fact that you can hear, the fact that you've got children, the fact that you can eat, you can whatever. Find content with what you've got. That doesn't mean don't be ambitious. People seem to misconstrue what I say. But I'm telling you right now, I've got people who are successful, miserable as fuck. I've got a mate of mine with a fucking 37-seat cinema in his Mayfair property, 8 million quid, 37-seat cinema. He couldn't wait to show me his basement and show me his PlayStation 4 with his 37-seat cinema. I said, Steve, look at this fucking hell, 20-foot screen. Amazing. I said, you know what you need now, mate? He says, what's that? I said, 35 fucking friends. Right? And you think about it, this guy got a 37-seat cinema. He's probably got 10 fucking mates. What the fuck's that about? Wouldn't he be better not fucking earning the money and fucking spending some time with his children instead of masking the fact that everything's fucking shit and he's not happy with shite like 37-seat cinemas? Now, maybe I've got it wrong, Steph. Maybe I've got it wrong. But when I've got it wrong, I know what's right for my life. And I believe I know what's right for most other people's lives. That what you've been told to chase isn't the thing that's going to make you happy. The thing you need to chase, the thing that you're pursuing is everything that we do in life. Everything that we do in life is to make us happy. And what we end up doing is we end up confusing fun with happy. That we have fun. So that makes us happy for the time being, whether it's fucking getting pissed, whether it's having a nice car, whatever. And actually, true happiness and contentment is something that we're going to talk about at Now What this Saturday at Aston Villa Football Club. NowWhat.biz. Steph.
Last 3 months of last year, very few people know this, actually. This has turned out to be one of the most personal Facebook Lives I've ever done. Last 3 months of last year were the worst of my life. Nearly lost someone really, really close to me. And the very fact that I was able to ditch my business and go and support them was more success to me than anything else. And can you imagine, when I was sat in hospital in Oxford, I wasn't thinking about how I'm going to make more sales for this. I wasn't thinking about how I'm going to make an automated system that gives me residual income next year. I was thinking, I fucking hope this person survives. That's given me a really different, coming into 2018, it's not just the hairstyle and the facial hair.
No.
That's given me very few people know that about me. End of last year was rubbish. What did success to me? Success meant coming home at the end of the day and that person was still alive.
Steph, let me explain something.
That's big.
Let me explain something. This whole thing about Now What, the book, is taking on a real different direction. In that, it was just, I reached a point in my life when I asked that question, now what? I reached a point in my life where I asked that question, now what? Because I'd achieved everything financially. Yeah. And it was like, I was at sea. I didn't know what the fuck. And now what is a question. The only time we ever ask a question.
Can I butt in? It feels important to butt in, right? Do you know what? I remember a moment when you had the black Range Rover Sport with the spinny wheels and the blacked out windows and all of that. And when 4Networking had grown really big, I remember a point, actually, when I could tell you were sort of looking round and literally thinking, you didn't come up with the title for another 5 years, but you were literally thinking, right, so now what? I've got that. I've got the big 5-bedroom house in the village. I've got the big car. And you were pretty much like, so is this it? Is this what success is then? Because it wasn't working for you. It wasn't making you happy. I knew that.
And this is the fucking thing. right? The only time we ask the now what question generally is when you're in a fucking ward like you was with somebody there and you're thinking, now what? The only time we ever ask the question is when your relationship ends, now what? The only time we ask it is if you have a health scare, now what? And actually what I'm urging every single individual that is tuned into this video right now is every single decision that you've ever made in your fucking life has brought you to this video today. Right? Why do you believe that is? Now what? Ask that question, now what? Is because it's a question that when you're under stress and you're in a ward or there's some shit going on, you're not in a position to answer that question because you're not thinking straight, because people under stress don't make great decisions. So the idea, which is where I'm at, and the stuff I teach people, is to get to that point now. When I'm in business and I make a decision like that and people go, how did you come to that decision? You only just heard about it. Because I'd made that decision 3 months back, 6 months back, that when this happens, that's why I move. I move so fast and people think that I'm just making a decision on the fly. Right? But your success or failure in your life will be defined by your decisions, your good ones and bad ones. The time to make decisions is not when you're stressed, right? Because you're going to make the wrong fucking one. So I make them when I'm chilled out. I know I'm playing like a chess moves ahead. Steph.
Yeah. At end of last year wasn't the time for me to make big decisions about business, life, or anything like that.
Correct.
It was to go with the flow. And thankfully, I've built myself into a position where I can go with the flow now. That is success to me.
You know, why we're being honest now, Steph was there one of the darkest days in my life, like literally. And if you've only got to say one word, let's just say McDonald's for the sake of it. There was one morning, the shit hit the fan in my world. Hit the fan like fucking, you know, whatever shit's going on right now in your life. Imagine the fucking floor being pulled away from your bum. That's what happened. And Steph, famously, and I wrote about it, I think, in Life Business Took It Easier, but you coached me when I was weak. So for all this that you see, the flamboyance, all this confidence that you see, Steph has seen me broken. And actually, I remember him giving me the strength and the fortitude for me to go into this battle that I had to do. And it took it out of him. It was like a transfer. It'd give me his strength at the expense of himself. And we fucking broke you for a fucking week or whatever it was. I can't remember. Because you was. But this is what I'm trying to say. And this is why when I ring you up and say, Steph, I need a favour, or you ring me up at fucking 3 o'clock in the morning and say, Brad, I've got a dead body in my boot. Then I say, fuck it, bring it over.
I haven't done that for months.
For months, Steph. Right? The smile that hid a dark secret. But the point I'm making is, once again, this is about that laptop lifestyle. Is that people believe that you can go and fast track your way fucking with some clever thingy. To me, no, you can't. You have earned the right to ring me up at any fucking time or ask me for anything. And this takes time. Now, many other people at the time fell away. Lots of people at that era fell away. They've got no right to ring me up or to ask me for fuck all if they reappear. And this is what people need to understand, that in order for you to get to your success or build your success, it's going to take time. In order to build those relationships, it's going to take time. In order to build your network, it's going to take time, Steph.
And effort.
And effort.
Oh, people can speed it up, but people want to speed this up without putting the effort in. And the more immersion you've got with people, the more you're around people, the more it speeds that process up. But people, you know, people want to meet me and be referred to my best client all in 24 hours. That don't happen.
Steph, one of the things you covered when I was at your networking retreat was that piece as regards the HR director. What was the story relating to that?
I can't remember the piece that we're talking about.
Somebody got referred to. Somebody asked for a referral to someone who's a HR director at a big company, a big 10 million, 50 million pound business, retail business, and you'd already referred them or something. Did you already introduce them?
Okay. Right. Okay. So yeah, now I know what you're talking about. Of course I do. It's judging people who are in the room, because yeah, I mean, we remember one of my biggest clients through Foren, and this was back in 2010. I met them at a networking event in Abergavenny. I remember that really well. They were a self-employed HR consultant at the time. Long story short, they went on to become HR director of a big company, and I ended up doing a load of work for them. And when I got excited about all of that and announced all over social media that I was working for this big company, 5,600 employees in the UK, 250 retail outlets around the UK, a load of my network got really excited and wanted introduced to this person. But one of them, who's not on this Facebook Live, one of them I didn't need to introduce, because when she had been a self-employed HR consultant, I tried to introduce him at that point, but he didn't want to know her. He only dealt with people with 10 or more employees.
Hey, Steph.
And all of a sudden, he was desperate to get in front of her.
Steph, I see that you spoke at the utility warehouse gig in front of 2,000 people. Can you get me an introduction into there?
You know, that's the thing. I spent 2 years chatting to Wes Linden from Utility Warehouse, and not asking him if I could speak at his gigs. That's the absolute truth. Plus, I spent 10 years meeting a load of people from Utility Warehouse and getting to know them, not knocking them back for one-to-ones because I'd already met 3 people from Utility Warehouse that week. I do know, can't remember whether you and I have ever talked about this, that Wes did check me out in as much as he asked a few people if they'd met me at networking events and how they got on with me. Right. And never once did someone say, oh yeah, he knocked me back for a one-to-one because I'm just in Utility Warehouse and he had no need to talk to me. So I'll talk to anyone, and I love talking to someone. Some of it turns into opportunities, some of it doesn't, and that's all good.
So if you look at the conversation that you and I had 11 years ago, we didn't know that 11 years on, there's been lots of conversations 11 years ago that we still no longer have. And people think it's true.
You know, I had to be talked into meeting you.
Go on.
Well, because I'd gone into business for myself, and a load of people had wanted to meet me, come and see me for a curry and that sort of thing. And every time I'd met them, they'd wanted to sell me coaching, and sometimes I parted with the money, and it had turned into nothing. And then this mental guy who I'd never met from Somerset, but with a Manchester accent, wanted to meet me for a curry, and I thought, no, sod that, bollocks to that. It would just be someone. It would just be someone else wanting to get my checkbook out, but. Yeah, it was almost, I had nothing better to do that evening, so I came and met you for a curry.
I remember that so well, but you know something, Steph?
You didn't ask me to get my checkbook out.
You look at this whole thing about a laptop lifestyle, right? I have a laptop lifestyle, but let me tell you something, people, it's not what it's fucking cracked up to be, right? Because you end up fucking going, you know, you need to fill your time with something. Now, okay, if it wasn't for my laptop lifestyle, I couldn't go to fucking the gym. I couldn't do the things that I do, these nice things. But I'm telling you, people, just make certain that whatever you're pursuing in your life, whatever you're pursuing in your business is really what you want. Not what the world tells you that you want, that you need a Lamborghini, you need a mansion, you need a swimming pool, you need this sort of shit. No, what you want. Now what, by the way, this Saturday, Aston Villa, nowwhat.biz, 9 places remain, me, 4 other speakers, an all-day event. Check out nowwhat.biz, people. Check out nowwhat.biz. If you want more information, email pippa@bradburton.biz. Steph, you've got an event coming up. But before you do that, before we tell us about your event, Steph, give me the 3 things that you believe that are the crucial things that will help any single individual, no matter where they are in the life or the business. The 3 tips. If you want to focus on networking, be that. Go for that. Go.
Yeah, definitely. Lean on your network. Actually, it sounds an odd thing to say, but you know, you've built a network. Whether you've tried to or not, you've built a network along the way. The very first thing to do is look to that network for support, whether it's emotional support, moral support. All the other sorts of support, financial or whatever, but realize that you've got a network out there. Secondly, learn to be yourself. I mean, this is so much more what Brad teaches at Now What than I teach, but the more that I've become myself over the last few years, the more I'm selling. I don't do it for commercial reasons. I do it because I quite like being myself, quite like not shaving for 6 weeks occasionally.
Can I just jump in?
Yeah.
That what you just said then is wonderfully liberating. See, I've got people who I work with who are financially more successful than me by a country fucking mile, but they've got to pretend to be something they're not. In business, they're pretending to be something they're not. It's like, what is that about? This is your life, and you're being something you're not to be successful or to mingle with those people. That's like, I just won't do it. You know me, Steph. I've actually said to people, listen, I had a guy come up to me, by the way, best ever trade show. Guy came up to me, and we're still waiting for your 3rd one, Steph. Guy came up to me and said, hi, Brad, how are you? Fucking hates me, this guy. Hates me. He said, Brad, how are you? Chat. Brad, is there anything I can do to help you and blah, blah, blah? Can I help you? And I said, yeah, I've got something you can do. I said, stop asking me daft fucking disingenuous questions that you don't give a fuck about and fuck off. Yeah, that went down well. But you know, this is the thing. I don't suffer fools. This is my life. And actually, I wouldn't lie to someone. I wouldn't pretend to be something I'm not. Steph, your final point.
You've got to show up. is my final point. I think people misunderestimate. People underestimate that you have to show up, you have to be there, you have to be available to people. The fact that you and I are speaking, if 45 people now, I'm good with that.
Mine.
Yeah, you know, the fact that you and I are those three are the ones who've blocked me along the way. Hello. The fact that you know, we're showing up to do this, that you carry on showing up to networking events, so do I. I've got another Facebook Live to do this afternoon. You have to show up and be visible to people. That's the important.
Talking about for networking and networking, I'm actually on the tour for the For Networking is 12 tour. I don't know the dates, I'll be lying to you. But in essence, in February, I'm doing 10 For Networking meetings in 1 week. 10 For Networking is the networking organisation that I started. And bear in mind, I went into this For Networking, started off £25,000 in debt, and I went into a congested marketplace. I was a guy, no qualifications, been addicted to drugs twice, 4 years on benefits, you know, no money, from Manchester, living in a frigging masonette above a chipper. How on earth was I going to go and create a network that would take the UK by storm? The way I did it was the same way that you create a bushfire. You like one match, then one tree, then 2 trees, then 4 trees, then 8 trees. And actually, if you've got something good, people will buy, people will share it. If you've got something shit, you've got to push it. If you've got something great, people will find it. This is the thing. You don't see someone outside the frigging Apple store trying to sell the iPhone X, saying, hello, mate, do you want to have a look at the benefits and the features? You don't. You go, here you go, Brett Steph. Would you like to hold an iPhone X? You hold the fucking thing. Next thing, you're spending £1,000. So you do need to sell some tickets, don't you, Steph, for your event, which is when?
My event is on February the 2nd. I'm bringing Chris Marr down from Dundee. He's the founder of the Content Marketing Academy. It's at thenetworkingretreat.co.uk/more sales. Because you told me I was clunky on that before. That tripped me up this time, and I'm clunky about it. You know what people will get out of it? They will be making more sales from their networking, their social media, and their content. A load of people who are writing blogs, and it's just a load of effort. Me and Chris will show you how to actually turn that into sales, because we've both done it. Something that you said to me, picking up on your point there, thenetworkingretreat.co.uk/more sales. Picking up on your point there, you said something to me a couple of weeks ago. You have to be enthusiastic about what you're offering, right? So the networking retreat, I love. For networking, I love. And then you said to me, you still have to be enthusiastic about it a decade later. That's where so many people slip up.
Oh, Steph.
People start networks, and then 3 weeks later, it's a bit too much like hard work, and they give up.
Steph,
10 years.
Steph, listen, that is so popular. See, this is the thing. You and I have these conversations, and we forget all these cool things that we say. But you're right. And actually, it's not even 10 years. It's 12 years on.
Yeah.
12 years. 12 years. I'm 13 and a half years in of being in business. 12 years before networking on February the 16th. And you look at that enthusiasm that I've still got for it. Now, what happens, let's say, for instance, Bitcoin. You've got all this wonderful wave of euphoria. And when it's all on the up...
That's gone quiet.
Right? And then all of a sudden, you're not singing anymore. You're not singing anymore. And actually, this is the thing. Through the years with For Networking, I've had ups, I've had downs, but, and like I say, I nearly lost all my faculties. I nearly lost everything. But I've always had that love for it. And this is where, if you look at my track record, I've got a track record of doing what I say. Like, you can go and probe what I've done when it comes to networking. I'm the only guy in the UK who started off a national joined up network. There's all these individual groups, but no one's got a joined up one like For Networking. You can go to any group. When it comes to writing the books, 4 books, Disruptive, Get Off Your Ass, Get Off Your Ass 2.
When's For Networking shutting down, by the way?
About 6 years ago, according to the rumours.
Yeah, because I mean, 8 years ago, I was told it only had another 2 years left, and that was a fact. So I'm still wondering when it shut down.
Steph, so where are these people? And this is the thing. One of the things that I've worked out is, rather than plow energy into them, and we didn't do that. We didn't give them any oxygen. All these fucking haters, we give them no oxygen. What we did, we focused on us. We focused on us. And actually, rather than that, it's like mental, imagine bandwidth. If you're plowing energy into negative vibes to someone else, you're taking off your own game. And we kept our strategy. We kept our strategy. And if you think of it like the way that I do my business, I'm a bit like a frigging, not Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor. I do a prediction, and it's a 3-round knockout, bosh, right? If it gets to round 4, I'm gassed out. But don't worry now, because I've got a management team that do round 4 to round 12. This is the thing with what I've done with For Networking, Nobody give me a fucking chance. Nobody give me a chance. Nobody give me a chance with the book writing. Nobody give me a chance with speaking. I get the biggest stages in the UK. Let me tell you something right now. The fucking personal development world is getting chewed up. It's getting changed because it's fucking rotten to its core. Rotten to its core. Self-serving. And I'm daft enough to fucking back this up. And I've got a team around me that will fucking do it. I'm telling you right now, the personal development game is time for change. Not people change, but change is the industry. I have changed business networking. Whether I've changed book writing or not, it's different. But whether I've changed speaking, certainly. So speaking have changed, book writing have changed. The next thing is personal development. It's my mission for the next 10 years. Don't you worry about that.
We've been going for nearly an hour.
Have we really?
This is the longest Facebook Live I've ever done with you. Usually we bin it off after about 12 minutes. We've had a lot to talk about today.
We have had a lot to talk about. People, I was going to text some questions. Do you want to text some questions or not?
Yeah, go for it. I'm
All
going
right.
to do it like this because I got down to 3% battery halfway through. So
listen,
holding it with the charger.
We're gonna stay on for 60 seconds. If there's any questions, we'll answer them. If not, we'll just tail off and come up with some embarrassment there. But listen, my event this Saturday, people, you're more than welcome to join me. NowWhat.biz, 4 speakers on top of me. So that sounds worse than it was intended, wasn't it? 4 speakers on top of me. So we've got 5 speakers. Now what is in a day of event? It's effectively 10 years of experience about what I've learned in my life and how to get the best out of a life, how to get the best out of a business, and how to get the best out of yourself. Because this is the thing, you are your biggest chance of success. You are your biggest chance for success. No, it's not a book. It's not a frigging Facebook. It's not likes. It's not a business page. You are your biggest chance of success. The only thing that's changed with me, I'm a street kid from Manchester. Let me be quite fucking clear about that. That's what I am. But somewhere along the way, my ingredients have remained the same. I'm a little bit raw, a little bit weird, a bit of a risk taker. I can see opportunities. The thing that has changed is my recipe. My recipe has changed. And this is the thing, that you have everything that you need to be the best version of you. Your recipe might be fucked up. Aaron, stop talking about it, Star. Get yourself to Now What this Saturday. NowWhat.biz. Bosh. Stefan.
We haven't had any questions. It's
Nope.
And that goes back to our first point with all of these people watching. I still want people to stop judging themselves and thinking that their audience is bigger than it is. This stuff, you and I made a load of mistakes along the way, and a load of people, if they come to Now What Live or if they come to my event, can speed this stuff up. The networkingretreat.co.uk/more sales. A load of people can speed this stuff up, but people want to skip the steps. I've nicked that one off Crosley. I know I have. People want to get to having audiences that buy from them without putting in the effort to actually build that audience, and that saddens me.
Hey, and this is the thing, Aaron. Yeah, you're right, Star. You are. You didn't fucking Nashville. That's the reason you're not there.
bit harsh, Brad, beating him up for that.
It was. We like Aaron. So here's the thing with all this, right? This is the point. Let's just round off here now.
Yeah.
Where we started at this thing is there's no shortcuts. There's no online panacea. There's not. It's a fucking myth. And anyone who tells you that there is, I believe, has a vested interest in selling you an online panacea. I also believe that kind of stuff is great, truly, as long as you can afford for it not to work, right? If you can't afford, if you need, your mortgage going out, no. My view, if you had £1,000 for a small business and they need to spend it effectively, I would say business networking. And that's me being biased, but it's also me being honest, because I did not see a more appropriate way, because fundamentally everything that you try to do is to meet people. That ultimately, after your Facebook advertising, after this kind of stuff, you kind of need to meet people, and that's what we've done with Pro Networking. Steph?
Word of the day, panacea.
Hey, not from a fucking Salford lad, is it?
Listen, I said triumvirate, and no one's picked up on that at all.
What did you say? Yes, you fucking did. To be honest, I didn't know what it meant, and I was embarrassed to ask.
When Claire McTurnan said to me, I didn't know what it meant either, but I said I'd get it in on this Facebook Live.
Good stuff.
It's not just about time, it's about effort, it's about immersion. This isn't real work, though. What we actually do, Brad, going to networking meetings and chatting to each other on Facebook Live, we can't pretend that this is a shed load of effort and hard work. Frankly, it's all good fun. People need to enjoy what they do for a living as well. I know that sounds really trite.
So Steph,
spend a
let me
lot of time doing it.
ask you this question: how many sales have you made as a direct result of this last hour that you and I have been on? How many sales have dropped in?
As far as I know, I've not been checking. As far as I know, none.
Right. So hang about. This is the point, right? But so here is the thing that you could speak all day fucking long, and there's so many factors, and this is what people don't understand. I'm the UK's #1 motivational business speaker. It says so on my website. So do you see? So
the thing is, I wasn't expecting any sales because that's not how it works.
Correct.
Not from one Facebook Live that I'm doing.
Correct. But it's sold as such. So you'll have some fucking clever courses of someone talking to camera saying, "Hey, I sold £300,000 as a result of one Facebook Live." It will be sold like that. It will be sold. There'll be some fucking bullet point to say, "Learn the secrets of the video that I sold to £100,000." It's fucking bullshit. The vast majority of people ain't gonna earn 100,000. I have never done a Facebook Live in my fucking time and got 100,000 quid, let alone 10,000 quid, let alone £1,000. So either I'm doing it fucking wrong or they're scamming. I have no idea. What is it? Oh, I'm on fire, Steph. Steph, are we going or are we continuing? Call it, Steph. Call it.
I'm going to call it done. I've got another Facebook Live coming up later on this afternoon. I reckon an hour of us. I think we ought to do this again. Actually, I think there's some other stuff which we need to call. I don't think people are always scamming, but I think the results take people to do other stuff that they're not prepared to do. And it's a lot of stuff that adds up to small results. 11 emails for that lady to make a purchase.
So here's the thing. When I first started for networking off, I had to drive to these events. And I remember driving to Birmingham, year 2. It was. So Southwest was all sold up. Year 2 in Birmingham. I would drive to Birmingham. And so I'd have to get up at 4 o'clock, drive to sit in a room with 6 people who didn't really want to be there. And I had to pretend that it was really cool. Now, if I'd not done that, there'd be no national network for networking. No. Sometimes you've got to do these things that you don't want to do. If I'd not done that, I swear, for networking would never have got beyond the Southwest. And actually, I was embarrassed to be there. But that's the only way that you can end up talking to rooms as I do of 1,000 people is by being prepared to talk to rooms of 6. Steph Thomas, boys and girls. Steph, where can people find you at this event? Tell them.
If people search the networking retreat on Facebook, they'll find my Facebook group, and the URL for my event is the networkingretreat.co.uk/more sales. You're punching above your weight, frankly.
Oh, mate.
You're punching above your weight. How has she not worked out yet?
mate, seriously, it's got to be my 12-incher. Got me with 12 inches of voice. But let me explain something about my wife. My wife, when I first met her, used to work at Quick Save. My wife knew me when I was a fucking drug-addled fucking monster. All right, that's probably a bit strong. But my wife knew me back in the day before it was this Brad Burton. And this is what I said about Steph. That he and she have earned the right to call on me at any time, 24/7, and say, "Brad, I've got a dead fucking body." She knew me before, and that's what it's about, people. Steph Thomas, thank you so much. People, now what
Good to see you guys.
There's still time to come along to this event.
Get yourself there. Get yourself
to speakers. Please. All right, kids, take it easy. I've really enjoyed that. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Cheers, Steph.